today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Diamond Select Toys Star Trek The Next Generation Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Diamond Select continues their tradition of making Star Trek themed, the equivalent really of Marvel Select figures. We've already had a look at Spock and Captain Kirk, and now we're kind of entering the realm of Next Generation. And something that I grew up with watching, not only really the classic Trek, but also really got into the Star Trek Next Generation series. The side of the package, well, the bottom of the package features the Enterprise D. You spin it around like so. And a nice image of Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Make it so. On the back, other figures available, well, figures again we've covered already, is the Star Trek Select Captain Kirk, featured Khan. We also had a look at the Star Trek Select Mr. Spock. Spot's done reviews on both of them. And the read-up says, and actually a pretty substantial read-up, says Jean-Luc Picard was raised on a vineyard in France with limited technology, yet he always knew he would attend Starfleet Academy one day. As a lieutenant commander aboard the USS Stargazer, Picard saw his captain killed on the bridge and assumed command. Awarded the captaincy for his bravery and becoming one of the youngest captains ever, Picard remained with the Stargazer for 22 years, inventing the Picard maneuver in the ship's final battle against a Ferengi vessel. I remember that episode. Awarded the highly prized captaincy of the USS Enterprise D, Picard commanded the fleet's flagship during an encounter with the Borg, making it the first Federation ship to survive such an experience. Although later captured and partially assimilated by the Borg's cybernetic hive mind, Picard was freed by his crew and went on to triumph over the Borg in several key battles. After the Enterprise D was destroyed, Picard took command of its successor, the USS Enterprise E. To check out more from the folks over at Diamond Select Toys, be sure to head over to www.diamondselecttoys.com. And that being said, Spot's going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Star Trek The Next Generation Captain Jean-Luc Picard. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. First thing we'll have a look at is the display stand that comes with Jean-Luc Picard, and fittingly enough, it is a Borg display stand. Perhaps on the Borg cube ship, and then we've got you know, a dismantled Borg. Looks to be like a later Borg as opposed to the earlier Borgs, because the earlier Borgs just look like people in like leotards, like bodysuits, and then they put appliances all over them. These Borgs look more like something from First Contact, a little more advanced, but a really nice display stand to say the least. You have two pegs on the top there, and you can easily peg Picard, take Picard here, and you can peg him onto the display stand. Display stands also come very handy with pieces like this because also Picard is slightly pre-posed. The display stand also accents the piece more so. And specifically, maybe not so much with the Marvel Select pieces, but specifically when it comes to the Star Trek pieces, because they are pre-posed, these are more like display pieces than they are really action figures. But a really great way to display the piece by including the Borg display stand. Taking the stand off, we'll just put it to the side there. Captain Picard looks really nice. He's a good, I think, transition from character on TV to figure form. Now, he is sporting his TV series uniform, complete with the shirt that, of course, he always had to pull down. The captain, my dear captain, also comes including with a phaser in hand. Now the phaser in hand doesn't look like it's removable. It does look like it would be removable if you were to pull it, but it looks like it's been glued on. I don't see a reason why you would want to take it off anyways, because once you take it off, you really don't have a place for it, and Picard will always kind of have a gesture as if he's supposed to be holding something. Though the top of the figure is articulated, both the head, the shoulders, and arms, the bottom half of him is what is staction. This is the part that's pre-posed to him. I'm not sure really why Diamond Select doesn't release fully articulated figures. Perhaps that's not the license that they have in place for these pieces. But again, as a display piece goes, it's really nice. Having a look at his face, let's bring the camera in here. I think as it goes for a Captain Picard piece, it's quite nice. As the Kirk as well as the Spock, I think it does look a lot like Captain Picard. I would also have loved to see, and perhaps now that they have essentially really this sculpt, I'd love them to release this guy, perhaps they even the very same figure, love them to release it in the movie suits, you know, with the gray at the top, the colored collar, and then the all black outfits. That, I think I would like to see that, especially when you factoring in that this seems more like an updated Borg rather than the earlier Borg drones, I guess, so to speak. Coloring is quite nice as well. I don't see any real issues with paint. Nothing really splotched anywhere. I mean, really right down to the little blips, little rank blips on his collar. The insignia on his chest is also quite nice. He's a good, solid piece. Again, it's a shame he doesn't have as much articulation as perhaps the likes of a Marvel Legends piece, but there's got to be a reason why they're going the route of pre-posed rather than fully articulated. When it comes to, speaking of articulation, Captain Picard's head is, as you can see, very posable in the means of a ball joint. Shoulders, that's a little bit different. Shoulder here is straight. It doesn't have any articulation, really the full stretch of the arm. But the arm hinges out and rotates all the way around. The hand also does rotate. When you get to this arm, on the other hand, it does have that same hinge, but then he's also got a swivel point at the bicep area that rotates all the way around, and also a swivel point in the wrist. Between those two, you could have Picard, depending on how you want to have him posed. You could have the phaser in hand, you can have his head up like that. Hand stopping the other drones coming at him. That's probably how I'm going to have him displayed. When it gets to his torso was on what appears to be just a straight swivel. And finally, again, there's no articulation from the waist down. I thought actually he might have had articulation in the foot, but it's been sculpted to blend from the leg down, because you've got that little V cut on the lower legs of Picard here. It's a great figure. Again, it's kind of like, well, it's exactly really like the Kirk and the Spock. Figures like this are suited more for display purposes than anything else. As it goes for a display piece, it's fantastic. I just kind of wish that they could have, and maybe by licensing is just the way that they're unable to release fully articulated figures, but I'd love to see them approach the Star Trek figures in a fully articulated format. If you still like Star Trek though, you like the Captain, and let me know down below which Captain you prefer, Kirk or Picard. Maybe you're even a Cisco person. Let me know down below. In the meantime, today's toy spot, we were having a look at the Star Trek The Next Generation Captain Picard. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more toy spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.